But our parents, my father and mother, they stayed back. And that is why the recollection of World War II is so vivid with them, because of the places that remind them, these historical sites that we go to every year in honor of Liberation Day for the last 76 years now. They remembered, and it was a constant reminder because and so to me, what did I learn from them? There's so many things. One proverb, Chamorro proverb, that is so powerful in the Chamorro culture is and it's a theme of the Guam Museum, by the way. But natagwitan niya ani, the winds of change. Sumatsaliko pagu, you are laughing today, no agupa, kumakatil, tumatang so agupa. Meaning that within their own reality, they had no control over what had happened. It came to them. And that is why every time we get together, and especially during World War II, they are now all deceased. But in growing up, since I could remember, this is back in 1955, the gatherings in the kusinan sanhiyong, where I heard these stories each year, we would gather for about 2 weeks, and each one would tell their story. And then we would go down to the Hagatnya, where everybody met, to commemorate. It was really a commemoration day because they were telling us, and then we understood it. It's unlike the way liberation is celebrated today. It is so unlike, because the children of today don't have those stories, not like I did, my generation. So listening to it and listening to these countless stories, when I go down there for liberation, I know why I'm there. I'm not there to just to have a nice Chamorro fiesta or a nice, no. I'm there to remember a very pivotal historical or historic milestone in the history of the Chamorro people of the Mariana Islands. And like I said, it's a living history. Still today, I still see people who live through it and they tell me their own experience. And it's not really what is totally written. Most of it is unwritten. That's the situation. I've even gone into the history of because I didn't know them, but I did Chamorro genealogy. There were over 60, close to 80 Japanese patriarchs, mind you, that married Chamorro women here in Guam before World War II. So this story that the Chamorros of Guam didn't know about the Japanese, I am not too sure about that, because these men, and today their families are prolific here in Guam, and they go in the thousands now in terms of their descendants. And when I look at that, well, what story is that we really never really touched because of the sensitivity of the war? Well, I know some of those stories, and it's very important for me to know and to learn, because well, it's my history. As I've always told the kids, and I talk to thousands of kids here in Guam, your history is Guam's history. And so document your experiences today, because one day your children and your grandchildren, they're going to ask you, hey, mom and dad, hey, grandpa and grandma, who are we really? And we have a very rich history, whether in the worst or in the best of time. It's our history. And I learned from them. The thing that's going on now with the pandemic, with the coronavirus, our elders dealt with this so many times. It's not the first time it ever came to Guam. But because of their strength and basically, like in World War II, the book I wrote in Chamorro Proverbs, after I wrote it, I said, my God, this is why they survived it. Because they had this value system that couldn't be overwhelmed, couldn't be overtaken, and that they will survive and that they will move forward. And I guess That is what is, in a sense, and in quotes, what liberation is for all of us here in the Mariana Islands. Sendong Commission Mosque.
Malia. And so now, definitely, you know, the history books are extremely valuable, and the stories, hearing those stories directly from a Manaina who lived them. And so someone who was moved in that same way is our next guest at our kusinan, Sanhiyong Lamasa. And it was being able to help his parents work on some things, but he was born really curious. He always asked questions. What's the term for that, Malia? Someone that always asks questions, a child that's always...
Imbinikeru, but in a good sense.
Imbinikeru, Baltazar, but curious about, like Malia said, Dad, where do we come from? Who are we? Hadzi Familiata, Hadzi Hit. And so he's the son of Edward Leon Guerrero Aguon, Family and Sombreros and Saru, Sinananya, Dr. Catherine Aguon, Pelicani Bordalio, Feminine Kotlas and Bidadzu. And he was Poksai in the village of Talampagu in Pago Bay. And his dad was from, was it?
Haggatnya.
Haggatnya? Malia knows where your family's from, where all the families are from. But he spent most of his time in their Lansu in Tomhom. His mother, of course, comes from the village of Sumai, then Haget, then Sinahanya. And so now Baltazar is living in Mangi Town. And he is doing what our duty is as Chamorro children of our Manaina, is caring. He is the primary caregiver for his mother. And it's a very hard and, but it's our responsibility as Ifamagun to care for them. And so I asked Baltazar what his favorite dish is and which auntie or uncle made it. And his favorite dish is mutsidzis. And he said that his auntie Helen, she was a really great cook and she made that. And then what else did I ask Baltazar? And so I also asked him his favorite place, and maybe Baltazar, you can take over and tell us where you are at the moment. Behind you, he said Tetemu,